Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's morning, late morning here in the UK, and you are very welcome to this pre-departure webinar for University of Plymouth International College, UPIC, down here in the southwest of England. To start with some introductions, my name is Tim Gutzel. I'm Director of Marketing and Admissions for UPIC, and I will allow the other panelists, my colleagues, to introduce themselves.
Hi all, my name is Toby Joseph Johnson. I'm the Student Experience Manager here at the University of Plymouth International College.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Ola Shibumi. I'm the Student Recruitment Coordinator here in Lagos, Nigeria for UPIC.
Hi everyone, I am Maria, Student Recruitment Coordinator, University of Plymouth International College, work remotely, I'm in Port Harcourt.
Hi there, my name's Amber. I'm the Marketing and Student Coordinator here at UPIC in Plymouth.
Great, thank you everybody. So we've got a lot of information that we want to share with you over the next half an hour or so. And this gives you an introduction, an idea of the agenda that we're going to cover. So starting with the introductions and meeting the team. Then we'll talk to you about the Student Hub services, and that includes things like the welfare team, counselling, disability and dyslexia, immigration services. We'll talk to you about accommodation, different options available, and how to make sure that you have completed your booking. We'll talk to you about the dates for arriving in the UK, and once you're here, how to get to Plymouth. We'll talk to you about visas, about the medical centre and access to medical facilities. We'll describe to you the induction week activities, for welcome talks and the other events, share all those important dates, the semester dates, the examination dates, introduce you to the Students' Union and the various officers in the Students' Union who will be your representatives here on campus, and we'll introduce you to all of the different social media that we have available. Okay, so that's our agenda. Feel free to ask questions as we go along in the chat or the Q&A. And at the end, we'll be sure to leave time as well for any questions you may have. So starting with UPIC Student and Academic Services team, I'll pass over to my colleague, Student Experience Manager, Mr. Toby Joseph Johnson.
Thank you so much, Tim, for the introductions. Yes, welcome everyone. And the Student and Academic Services team, now formally called the Student Experience team moving forward, the first point of contact for all your studies throughout your stay in Plymouth. We are here to assist you with registering for your classes. We're here to assist you in integrating into the university, to introduce you to your lectures. We're basically a support system consisting of 3 other members of staff, Chloe, Anita, and Dr. David Jones, who is the Director of Student and Academic Services team. So we're here to just absolutely support you, hold your hand whilst you begin that journey through your education.
Thank you, Uncle Toby. And the opening hours of the college?
The opening hours are 8:30 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. We also have our number there, 88095 is our reception phone if you'd like to give us a call at any point, obviously within those 8:30 to 5 p.m. working hours. You've also got access to our email, student.support@upic.plymouth.ac.uk. The university library is home to the Student Hub team. That's the student services directly for the university. In that building, you have support from the welfare team, counseling, disability and dyslexia service, as well as the student center and immigration services. So it's a first point of call. You can arrive there at the library, you turn right, you see the careers department, you turn left, you see the Student Hub team. So you have various points of contact right across the university that can assist you with most of your queries.
Location. So you're not just coming to study here, you're coming to live here. And that might be for a year and a half or so if you're a postgraduate student, or it could be 4 years if you're an undergraduate student. And then who knows, you might go on from undergraduate studies to a master's or even a PhD. So the location, how it feels to live here is really important for you. So Britain's Ocean City and the coolest little city by the sea, according to GQ magazine. We love Plymouth, has a population of about 250,000 people. That might not sound like a huge number, but the city is a real kind of regional center. People come here from all around the country, and locally and regionally from other towns and villages for all of the facilities that the city has to offer. So big enough to have a kind of a big city vibe, but small enough that you can find your way around really easily, not get lost. And fantastic location, seafront location, with some great natural beauty and countryside just inland from us. So there we go, great location. Should we not bother with too much of the map, Toby, because we can go on to the tour, can't we? It's a bit more interesting. Shall I stop sharing and then you can bring up the virtual tour? You're on mute at the moment.
Yes, please. Bear with me.
So what we're going to show you now is a virtual tour of the city and the campus, lots of university buildings. You see the link there. You can go in yourself and have a look around and explore the different teaching spaces. You can see inside the accommodation, what the accommodation provision actually looks like. We're getting close, Toby.
Yeah, we're getting close. Almost reaching launching the launch pad.
It's quicker than traveling here, the virtual tour, but not much at this rate.
There we go. So at the moment, we're towering over the University of Plymouth. Can you see my screen at the moment? Yep.
Yep.
Great. We're towering over the University of Plymouth. I'll start from the Hoe, which is a very popular destination for most students and the community across the city to visit. Quite iconic, and as you can tell, this is one of the reasons why we're called Britain's Ocean City. Very amazing coastal location. The lighthouse that we can see here is called Smeaton's Tower. It's home to the Plymouth Hoe, and this is where, and also the Lido. This is where various events take place throughout the year. In the past, we used to have graduations here, but moving forward, they should be moving to a different destination right across the city. As you can see, the weather is beautiful at the moment. I can't say the same about right now, but you know, in the Southwest, we have one of the best temperatures across the UK. When I come over this way,
Worth saying, Toby, sorry to interrupt you, but you can see all of the waterfront here and the Hoe and the green spaces next to the water. All of this is only 10 minutes walk from the college and from the university. And that walk takes you right through the city centre as well. So it's a really convenient student location where everything is located very close together. So if you have a short break during the middle of the day at the college, you really can just take a walk down to the waterfront through the city centre and build that into just a standard part of your day.
Absolutely. And you come here often, the Barbican, Sutton Harbour, where I am, Tim, to get some fish and chips, don't you?
Well, if I wasn't a vegetarian, I'd get the fish, but the chips are great. And all of this here that you can see, I can see your boat there, Toby, as well. One of your fleet of super yachts you have moored around the world. You have one in Sutton Harbour. And this again is just a short walk through the city centre. The Barbican has a host of nice shops and cafes and restaurants, very historic part of the city. But a lot of what you can see here is very modern as well. It's a rapidly growing city and a rapidly growing university. So the university has its roots, in fact, it's a school of navigation, just over 100 and what would it be? So the end of the 19th century, but it's
Yeah.
been growing rapidly ever since and is now a wide-ranging university building on those marine routes, now offering a whole host of different subjects. Where are you taking us now, Toby?
Now
We're
I'm
going to
gonna
the marine station. We were briefly there, weren't we?
Yeah, so the marine station is located close to Sutton Harbour as well. Some of the students that are specializing in marine courses have some classes in here. There's classrooms, there's laboratories, which are really cool. So here we are in one of the laboratories. You can see a starfish in there. And we can, if we exit the building, we can actually take a look into one of the dive stores as well.
So this is an area of real academic excellence for the University of Plymouth. So ranked in the top 5 in the world for the last 2 years for all things marine for teaching and research. So the academic excellence of the university relates to our location as well. So it's not that it's just a really nice place to be by the sea. It's also closely linked with the university's teaching and research provision.
Absolutely. We got the Plymouth Marine Laboratory as well. That's located close to the hull. But at the moment, it's very important to see where you're coming through, where you're going to, where's your first point of contact once you arrive. And like we said in the beginning, when we were talking about the student support and the student experience team, we're located right opposite the train station here. We're in this little house, Tim and I right now, and Amber on the corner. That's the International College, very close to the train station. As you come in, if you do arrive in Plymouth, you arrive at the train station and you pass one of the newest buildings called Intercity Place, home to our new Faculty of Health. So it's a really amazing building that's just come on, should be launched by September 2023. So yeah, it's really, really amazing, very modern. As we come across the city, I think it's good to come across to the Students' Union.
So the Students' Union is literally 3 minutes walk, maybe 2 if you're a fast walker away from the college. The college is on the edge of the university campus and the campus is right in the city centre. The Students' Union is home to all of the university's clubs and societies, of which there are hundreds. There's a shop, cafe, bar, there are quiet learning spaces, there are group learning spaces in there, social spaces. Yeah, it's kind of the hub, the heart of the student community.
A little place within the Students' Union where you can come in and have a coffee. There's access to BBC News, Sky Sports. So it's just a really social location that students can come to and relax and do some work, maybe have a meeting with some of their friends. Yeah, social activities of it. Most of the social activities take place within the Students' Union. It's home to about 300 societies and groups as well. So most of our students that have come to the college are part of a society and have participated in producing a society from scratch. I think one of our student reps at the moment formed the Nepalese Student Society. So the option is there for you to delve in and volunteer and put yourself forward. So within this space is where the sabbatical officers have their meetings. You can see the sports society there, sabbatical officers' desks. You can get some free advice. You can volunteer, have one-to-one meetings. It's completely, the options are there for you. See whether I can exit the building.
Should we have a look at some accommodation, Toby?
Yeah, let's do that.
So accommodation is a real strength of the university in that there's a real wide range of choice. For UPIC, we work with a preferred letting agent called Clever, but students can access university accommodation as well. So you have a whole host of options, and all of them are within an easy walk of the college, the university campus, the city centre and the waterfront. As you can see from this image here, all of the accommodation is single bedroom accommodation. Almost all of it is en suite. That means students have their own bathroom facility in the room. Typically, the bedrooms will be organised in apartments where there might be 6 or 8 bedrooms around a shared kind of kitchen and social space, as you can see here. So when you're new to the city and to the university, this is a really good way of making friends, getting to know people. But you have your own private space, your own quiet space too, and your own bedroom. Where are you flying us to next, Captain Toby?
I'm just trying to see whether we can see into Radnor Hall, but I don't think it's available at the moment. Where do you let's take a look inside the Roland Levinsky building.
Roland Levinsky building, right at the heart of the campus, a new building, spectacular space, bright, airy, light. All kinds of interesting things happen here. Computer games development. There's a studio where you can see people doing all of the work to devise computer games. The School of Architecture is in here. There's even cinema, lecture theatres. There we go. It's an example of one of the larger lecture theatres on campus.
This was used recently during the open day on Saturday this week. More information can be found online on the university website. It's also home to the architecture department and photography. So within here, for example, these are students painting portraits. So I think this is more the arts and design.
That wasn't a former student there standing in the middle, was it, Toby?
No,
One of
no,
our older alumni.
no, unfortunately not. So yeah, I'm going to post a copy of this URL in the chat, so you can feel free and do some exploring yourself. Make some plans of what activities you're going to take part in when you come across to Plymouth. Between the Plymouth Hoe and the university is the city center. So as you'd imagine, all the shops and attractions will be in the middle here. The shopping center, we have Drake's Shopping Mall, which is one of the most popular shopping centers in the Southwest. Quite a lot of people travel down from North Devon and even up north from Cornwall to come and shop at Plymouth. So yeah, there's something for everyone here, and loads of facilities and loads of restaurants and supermarkets to cater to international students. I believe we have about 5 West African supermarkets. We've got Nepalese supermarkets, got Asian supermarkets. So there's something for everyone within the city.
It's a good point, Toby, actually. Good point, well made, in that it's not the largest of cities, but it is very internationally diverse. So whatever food you're used to from home, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it in Plymouth. All kinds of supermarkets and cafes. For example, even in the market, there are Thai, Vietnamese, Mauritian catering outlets. So it's a very internationally diverse community that we have in Plymouth, partly because of the university. So with lots of international students and lots of international staff. Also, there's a very large regional hospital in Plymouth, and that means we have lots of international staff there too. So it really is a very internationally diverse community here.
Amazing. So while I take the URL and pop it on the chat, I will then start sharing my screen again for the presentation. Do bear with. You see my
Okay.
screen?
There we go. Are we back with the presentation now?
Yep.
Excellent. So next, we have information about accommodation. We've touched on this a bit already in that it's all very convenient, plenty of accommodation available, plenty of choice, almost all within 5 to 10 minutes walk of the college and the university. Lots of ensuite rooms available. Most of the rooms have their own bathroom facility. Prices start from around £100 a week. So very competitively priced, really good value compared with lots of other student cities in the UK. UPIC, University of Plymouth International College, we work with a preferred letting agent called Clever. The advantage of going with them is that they're used to receiving our students and they can offer more flexibility around start dates. So lots of private landlords, they might ask for a 52-week contract for the whole year. Of a university's accommodation typically is a 42-week contract starting in September. So if you take up the option through Clever, that does give you a lot more flexibility around start dates. They'll also help students to move in on moving day, complimentary bedding pack. So some advantages there, but you do have lots and lots of choice in the city. Perhaps, to be fair, not quite as much as you did. The university is growing quickly and so is the college. So we really strongly recommend that you book in advance so you know exactly where you're going to be staying. So you have access to the full range of choices. So don't leave it too long. Also, if you're planning to bring dependents with you, really don't do that. Please don't do that until you have your accommodation secure and you're sure that you have accommodation which is going to be suitable, not just for you, but for your other family members as well. So yeah, great accommodation provision. Make sure you book early though. Make sure you have everything organized as far as you can before you arrive.
On this slide here, just shows like a step-by-step method of what happens from the first time your booking is made to you receiving your tenancy agreement, to you making payment, to completing the right to rent, and also collecting your key. The whole process shouldn't take between 24 to 48 hours, depending on your accommodation choice and you filling out the appropriate paperwork. Traveling to Plymouth, I think it's important to start on this slide before moving back, but there's so many options to getting to Plymouth from London Heathrow or Gatwick, so from most of the major airports. We've had students in the past maybe arrive in Bristol, which is 2 hours away, or Newquay, which is an hour away in Cornwall. You can arrive by train, by coach, or you can book a private pickup. The options are completely up to you. It depends on, you know, what you'd prefer, so your preference. Understandably, the coach is the cheapest form of getting to Plymouth, but it takes a lot longer. The train is about three hours long, but you might need to change trains when you get to London, Paddington, before you move across to Plymouth. It's always good to book in advance for the trains and the coaches, as well as the private airport pickup, which is the most expensive option, coming in just above £240 for a single trip.
You say most expensive option, Toby, but if you do want to come by car, please, whatever you do, don't think you can arrive at the airport and just step outside and get into a taxi.
Absolutely.
Because that will cost you a lot more than £240. So pre-booked through our own trusted taxi provider is a better way of doing that. You can bring that cost down a little as well if you are happy to share. We arrange that in advance.
Yep. Collecting your BRP. So when you finally do get to Plymouth, and you're wondering what the first thing to do, it's about contacting the UKVI reporting team. So that's the compliance team on campus. They will now send you some information of what to do next in regards to uploading a copy of your passport data page and the visa. A BRP is a biometric residence permit. You pick that up from the post office, okay? Once that's ready, you have your BRP card, which will show the complete duration of your studies. For most of you in this webinar at the moment, some of you might have received your visas. Your visa that is inside your passport is only an entry clearance vignette, so it gets you within the country, but the BRP is what you use for the complete duration. So if you're coming on a pre-masters, it's what you use from your pre-masters to your masters. And if you're coming on an undergrad program, this is what you use from your foundation all the way onto your final year of study. Medical center. We do have a medical center located on campus. All new students are told to register as soon as they arrive in Plymouth, so they can get the best possible healthcare available to them. This is where you get access to your medical health checkups. I believe most students are eligible to get prescriptions if possible, if you need so. And also you can also access the pharmacies right across the city who can assist you if you're having maybe just like a common cold or any allergies. If it's more serious, then we do suggest that you contact your GP. That's the general practice. A little bit about enrollment. So for undergrad students, your enrollment is between the week commencing the 8th of May. And for postgraduate students, your enrollment begins on the week commencing the 15th of May. We do advise students to arrive as soon as possible. So within the next fortnight, it'll be good for you to start making arrangements to get here from the first possible day. We will be sending information out on our orientation guides, which have detailed information of the events of those weeks in between enrollment. If you're undergrad, your classes start on the 15th of May. So we really encourage you to get here from the first day of orientation on the 9th of May. And if you are postgraduate students, I believe your classes are starting on the 22nd of May. Some of the information.
Worth saying about, sorry, Toby, and you said the 9th of May quite rightly. Because the 8th of May has now been, Monday the 8th of May has now been declared a public holiday in the UK. So a lot of our information, or some of our information, you may see the first day of enrolment as Monday the 8th. It now has to be Tuesday the 9th of May.
Yeah.
That's courtesy of our new king, whose coronation is happening on Saturday the 6th of May. So it's a public holiday to celebrate that.
Thanks, Tim. And in regards to the welcome talks, so on the Friday of each of those orientation and enrollment weeks, you'll be having some program-specific talks as well as welcome talks by the college management team. So this includes the college principal, the director of student and academic services team. You'd be speaking to myself, the student experience manager, and the rest of my team who will be assisting you from day to day. And you'd also be getting some inductions of how to join your classes and an introduction to the student portal, which we call Moodle. Here's just a list of some of the important dates and orientation. So like we said, upon arrival, that's when your accommodation starts. When orientation and postgraduate orientation for undergrad and postgrad is, the times when the classes start, the last possible day of enrollment, and also when your semester fees are due. So this applies to the undergrad students who are joining us this May intake. So your fees will be due on the 14th of July. It's very, very important that you start making preparations for this prior to your travel, so to prevent any delays with you enrolling into the next semester in September 2023. The undergrad and postgraduate examinations are between the 7th and 11th of August, with the end of semester finishing on the 11th of August. Tim, do you want to talk a little bit more about the Students' Union and the sabbatical officers?
Certainly. So the Students' Union, that is the representative body for all students on the university campus. So any concerns that you have, you can raise them with the Students' Union. This is kind of the management team of the Student Union this year. So vice presidents for activities, education, wellbeing and diversity. I'm a president there. And we're at elections each year to choose the group of sabbatical officers, as we call them. The Students' Union, it's also the home to all of the clubs and societies. And there's an almost infinite range of clubs and societies for every sport and every interest. If what you're interested in isn't actually there, then if you get enough people to join you, you can approach a Students' Union and set up a new club and society as well. Worth saying too that UPIC students, we've actually been well represented on the Students' Union in the past. So we've had students who've come through the college and gone on to be the president or one of the vice presidents in the Student Union. And I think that's partly because when you come to the college, you feel from day one like a member of the university community. So you have access to all of the facilities the university has to offer. So I think our students feel well integrated, and there's evidence of that in the way that they've gone on to be post holders in the Students' Union in the past. Amber, do you want to tell us about all the different social media that UPIC has to offer?
Yeah, of course. I mean, just to echo what you said there, Tim, we do try to promote all of the events that are going on and trying to get our college students as immersed as they can into the societies and into university life. So we're active on social media across several different channels. We have LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and I missed one, but yes, we have
YouTube.
several different platforms. YouTube, that was it. Yeah, so our handle on the main channels are UPIC, so UPIC, and we've actually come up with a closed group this year for the May intake. So I'm just going to put the link in the chat. This Facebook group is basically for you to all kind of speak with each other. If you have any questions, that's fine. Feel free, we can answer, or you can just kind of talk amongst yourselves. So yeah, feel free. If you request to join, then I'll make sure you're accepted. So just go to the chat in this call and you can go to that. So yeah, another good thing about our socials is that you get to kind of really see life through the students' perspective. We got several members of the Student Council who kind of like to share their experiences, and we also like to talk to graduates, and they explain how UPIC has really helped them in their career and just their overall development. So yeah, feel free to follow us. There's our details on the screen there, and any questions, let us know.
Thank you so much. And just to wrap it up there, just a few contact details of myself and Tim, who emailed you reminding you about the event and sent across your pre-departure guide, and myself, Student Experience Manager, Toby Joseph Johnson.
Yeah, so check your email. So you should this morning have received a pre-departure guide from us. Do please read it because it's got lots of useful information in there. And yeah, so some contact details there. And finally, we're going to move on to some questions. So I think there are some questions in the Q&A, but we've not got to yet.
Yeah, we can mention them now.
Should we start there? So yeah, any other questions you do have, then please do feel free to ask. If you raise your hand, we can you can ask using your voice or use the Q&A in the chat.
So if I choose the private pickup service, I'm coming with a dependent. Is the same fee £240, or will there be an additional fee? That's the question, Tim.
That's the price of the car, isn't it? I think so. Yeah. If you were, is that right? So if you're sharing with other students, the price per head would be reduced, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
So yes, it could be a little bit lower than that if there's more than one person in the car.
Okay. It's very important to just fill out the application form. The booking will be answered by our colleague at Southwest Community Service, who will be in touch with you.
Okay, then Adamola, you've raised your hand.
Hello. Can you
Hi,
hear me?
Adamola.
Yeah. I joined the webinar late. However, my question is, can I get accommodation as a student coming with a dependent?
Do you want to take that, Toby?
There is accommodation available, not with our accommodation provider, unfortunately, because they only deal with students. It's important for you to do your research first. We always advise whoever the student is to come over, do some research, and then bring your dependent later. We don't want you to have circumstances where you're unable to house your dependent with yourself in student accommodation, and this prevents you either from enrolling or continuing your studies.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. So Prince Norbert, you have your hand raised. What's your question?
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, my question is this here. So for those of us who will be proceeding to the postgraduates, when are we expected to make our tuition deposit for the main postgraduate studies?
Your tuition deposit is due first week of September. So around that beginning of September, once you finished your pre-master's course in August, you can start making preparations. So it's prior to you starting the master's course in September. I hope that answers your question, Prince.
Yeah, that's fine. I have another question to ask. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Go for it.
Okay, so I was the one who asked about the private airport pickup service, and this is I wasn't quite clear with the answer that Mr. Tim gave. So this is what I want to know, right?
Yes.
So if I'm coming in with a dependent,
Yes.
myself coming with a dependent,
Yeah.
am I still going to pay the same exact £240?
No, because obviously you might have other luggage and you're coming with another dependent. So you're possibly going to use more petrol or diesel in getting to Plymouth. So when we say the prices are 240, that's from £240. So ideally, it would be best thing for you to do is make the application, specify within the notes page that you're coming with a dependent and how much luggage you'd be coming with, at which point the driver can then write back to you and explain to you what the cost implication.
Okay, that's fine then. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Manvir Sekon, you have a question?
Yeah, can I live anywhere in the UK?
Absolutely not. You've actually asked a question that's on our any questions list. No, you can't live anywhere in the UK. You must live in Plymouth.
Okay.
The standard college hours, Manvir, are 9. So your first class might start at 9 in the morning. Your latest class might end at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So you need to live somewhere where you can travel comfortably every day to arrive here by 9 a.m. And where you can get home after 5 p.m. So we don't specify a distance. It's more about the traveling time, but you need to expect to be here. You won't have classes all day, every day, but you need to live somewhere where you can be here by 9 o'clock in the morning and where you can travel home after 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Do we run through the questions then, Tim? That's on here. That might help out everybody answer the questions after this. Abubakar, what's your question?
Good. My question is, I think what's about creating a WhatsApp group? Because I see other students doing that, like creating a WhatsApp group that we can interact better with the students.
As Amber mentioned, we have a closed Facebook group that you're welcome to join, and then you can talk in there with other new joiners for May. It's difficult for us to set up a WhatsApp group because we can't actually do that without showing other students' contact details, and there are really strict data protection regulations in the UK that prevent us from doing that. So we're trying to find a way around that, but for now, the closed Facebook group is the way that we're doing that for new joiners who want to get in touch with each other. Hopefully, we'll find a way of doing it through WhatsApp that's data compliant, but we haven't quite got there yet.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Some other ones in the chat is where can I get books regarding to the course? So you can get your books at the library. That's no problem. Most of the books available at the library are now online, so you'd have complete access to that. So no issues there. When am I expected to start payment for my masters? We've mentioned that that's going to be in September. I have done my TB test today along with my dependent, and he hasn't any TB related issues, but the X-ray report is abnormal. For that question, I think it's best you drop me an email and then I can answer. I can reply on, yeah, I can reply to you on there, Mohammed, please. We are yet to see the link for the Facebook. I will put it again.
It's in the chat, isn't it?
I think it came to panelists by accident.
Ah, did it? Okay. No, oh yes.
I've popped it across to everyone now. So you
There
should
we
you should have access to it now. So please join. Tim, so let's just do a little bit of role play, shall we? We've already answered, can I live anywhere in the UK, which is brilliant. I love the fact that someone answered that question. Absolutely not. It's not, there's no option, there's no choice there. You must live in Plymouth. You
Or
must
close,
be or
easy
close
traveling
by.
distance.
Yes.
It's everything we do now is on campus. It's not by distance learning. It's not online anymore as it was during COVID times. So yeah, you need to be able to get here. And it's a great place to live anyway. And it's lower cost than lots of other places in the UK. So there's no good reason not to come and live with us down here in Plymouth.
And I think that also answers the question of, can I enroll if I haven't received my visa yet? Like Tim mentioned, it's not an online course. You need to be here face to face. So absolutely not. You need to get your visa. You need to arrive as soon as possible. You need to attend the orientation and enrollment talks, and then attend all your classes. When do I have to pay the second installment of my fees? This only applies to undergrad students. Your fees are due on the 14th of July. So if you're coming from another destination, so, you know, West Africa, any continent, if you're coming and you're arriving and you know that you're studying for another semester, please make arrangements for your next installment of tuition fees before you leave the country. It's very, very important. How early can I arrive in Plymouth? You can arrive now.
Anytime from now.
Anytime
Absolutely.
from now.
So there is a limit, but for the May intake, absolutely, get here as soon as you can. Please do try and arrive for the enrollment week. You will find life so much easier if you've been through that week of enrollment activities. You'll have everything organized. You'll understand what's expected of you, how the college life is going to work. You'll be able to find your way around the city. So we can accept some slightly later enrollments if necessary, but we strongly recommend that you get here and you enjoy and learn and benefit from all the enrollment activities that we have planned. Toby, do I need to buy a laptop?
Yes, absolutely. You do need a laptop. If you have one already, you don't need to buy another one, obviously. But yes, you need a laptop to continue your studies, to submit your assignments, to complete assessments, to do different types of work. You need a laptop, absolutely.
There are lots of computer rooms around the campus, and some of them are open 24/7. The last thing you must expect to do, though, is think you can study on your phone. You can't do that. You'll need all kinds of basic Microsoft packages like Word and Excel. So you will need a computer to do that. The library has computers, but you'll also want to do work in your own room in your own time. So we'd strongly recommend getting a laptop. Doesn't need to be the most expensive high spec machine. In fact, there are lots of shops in Plymouth that sell perfectly good second-hand laptops with a warranty. So it needn't be a high cost item either, but yeah, you do need your own computing facilities.
And what is the first thing I should do once I arrive in the UK?
I'm going to give you a call, Toby.
Absolutely.
Say, Mr. Toby, will you come and fetch me, please? Is that the right thing to do?
Yes, it's to contact a member of the student experience team, to contact student support. Just contact the college. Someone will be in touch with you.
Great. So those are some of the questions we're frequently asked. So I hope that's been useful for you. I can see a couple of our attendees have their hands raised again. So let's go to Nsikan Hassan. How can we help you? What's your question? You're still on mute. Okay, let's try Michael then. Michael Ariaman. You're also on mute. Okay. Nsikan, I can see you're off mute now and you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? Okay, maybe not. Or Michael?
Hi, Michael.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How can we help?
Please, how can I get a taxi when I get to the airport to Plymouth?
Do not jump in a black taxi. If you want to get a taxi from the airport, I've put a link in the chat. Okay. I need you to complete that form on the chat. It's for our airport pickup service. Okay. They'll give you a quote of how much the taxi will cost. All right.
Okay, what about accommodation?
Same thing. You can book accommodation via a link I'm going to put in the chat as well. So if you save both, you can book a chat. You can book. If you save,
I can't see any of the chats here.
I'm just about to post it in. So I've done the airport pickup just now, and I'm
Okay.
just about to drop one for the accommodation.
Okay. So are there any other open questions? Is for any online form of university we have to fill after arrival in the UK?
Yes, your enrollment forms, but you complete that when you come to the college.
Okay. Mohammed is asking, can I have the email address for regarding the TB test issue? Were you going to, is that your email address, Toby? We're going to share?
For the TB, yes,
The
my
TB test issue.
email address.
And then please, I need a link for pickup service in the airport. So the pickup service, you've put that in the chat now, haven't
Yes,
you?
that's in the chat as well.
Okay, so I can see there we've got your email address, we've got the details of the airport pickup and the accommodation booking online. Okay, so I think that answers all of the questions that we have in the Q&A. Ademola, you have your hand raised.
Okay, I want to ask another question. The question goes this way. I asked the question earlier if a student with dependents can actually get accommodation. You said no. However, I would like to ask then what's the average cost of accommodation outside school so as to get prepared while coming by May?
What I'll do for you is in the chat, I'm going to put a link to Rightmove. Okay, it's a website that individuals can use to look at houses for rent in and around the city.
So yeah, when we said no to accommodation with dependents, Ademola, it's not, there is accommodation in the city, it's just the university doesn't provide family accommodation, and nor does our preferred letting agent, Clever. But there is plenty of family accommodation available. Typical price, maybe 200 to 250 pounds per week would be a kind of a good range to plan for. But as we said before, and as Toby said just now, really you need to make sure you've got suitable accommodation in place before you bring your dependents over. So we'd strongly recommend that you come by yourself to begin with, get everything sorted, and then allow your dependents to follow. It'll be much more comfortable that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of complexities to just coming with dependents. As a student, you're exempt from council tax. If you come with dependents, then you might not be. You might still have to pay a percentage of that. If you're coming with dependents as well, you need to consider that the accommodation you're going to reserve for yourself will include bills. So as you know, in the UK, there's a bit of a energy crisis at the moment. So those bills tend to be a lot higher, the water, the electricity, the council tax, on top of what the average rent is. So for a 2-bedroom, you'd be probably looking anywhere between £700 to £1,000 a month, and that's excluding bills.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ademola.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I think we've answered all of the questions that we have in the Q&A and the chat. Nobody else has their hand raised at the moment. So I think a good point to wrap it up. Thank you very much, everybody who joined this morning, all of the attendees. Thank you very much to all of my colleagues, to Oluwaseunmi, to Maria, to Amber, to Toby. And you will, we really look forward to having the opportunity to welcoming you to Plymouth soon in the next few weeks. Yeah, and we'll see you then. Any final questions before we go? No, all good. Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time, for your inputs, for your questions, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.